Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. This tutorial is a special one because if you don't know, earlier today Mojang have released the first Minecraft 1.11 snapshot with new features introduced, and in that snapshot they introduced the Shulker box. Now I'm not going to go into detail about this, feel free to search up a snapshot review. There are plenty of them out there if you want to learn more about this block over here, but this is what I call the pocket storage. So the concept that I have for the pocket storage over here is that it is a compact, quick and easy to use cyclic storage array where you have 2 to 9 color coded boxes that in each one of them have a different set of items. So in my case here I have 4 boxes, and in this one I have all of my armor and diamond stuff, all my valuables you can say, and then with the press of a button it will cycle to the next one. So next up we have the green one, which I labeled for organics, flora over here as you can see. Next up we have the white, which in this case I just put all my quartz and iron blocks over here. Then we have the red, which is labeled for my redstone stuff over here. As for the redstone behind it, this is all it's got over here. It's considerably cheap and compact, and I don't want to go over it in too much detail. But something that I want to point out is a clever little trick that I used over here. Now the way that it pops off and gets put back into the system is there is a piston underneath it, and it will pop it off as it would do to a pumpkin. But it also translocates the block into this hopper that is located directly underneath the piston over here. Then it gets put back into this dropper elevator, which instantly transports it back into this dispenser, ready to get used again. An issue that I stumbled across while making this design over here is that shulker boxes will not open if they have a block above them, even if that block is transparent, such as glass or a piston or even an extended piston, as you can see, because I assume it has its fancy animation that extends its hitbox. Now the way to avoid that, you would think, is to just remove whatever block is above the shulker box, right? Wrong. Then what would happen with my design over here is that the piston that's supposed to translocate the box downwards into the hopper underneath it instead will push it up, and then the box would land over here or something, which we of course do not want. So the way I avoided that is I inputted or installed this little module over here, you can say. So what this does is that as soon as you press the button to cycle it on to the next box, this block will get retracted to here, which will then, no matter what, the piston will always translocate down into the hopper how it's supposed to do. And then again it will move it back over here once it's done, so you can open it. And I think the best way to demonstrate it is by actually showing it to you in action, because as you know, I'm not that good at explaining things like this. So as you can see, and if this wasn't here, well, this is what would happen. Last thing I want to point out before we move on to the building tutorial is that I place a stair over here just for the looks, but you can get away with not having to use an observer block over here if you replace it with a redstone dust, but then you have to make this block with a button on top a full block. But that's just something I quickly want to mention. So how about enough rambling, and let's get into the building tutorial part of this video. So to build this device, you are going to need a dispenser, 2 sticky pistons, 1 regular piston, a hopper, 2 droppers, 3 redstone dust, 2 redstone repeaters, an observer block, or an additional redstone dust if you want to use the trick I showed you previous clip, and then blocks of your choice. In this case, I'm just going to use some regular iron blocks, and then your input in this video, I'm just going to use a button as demonstrated in the previous clips, and then of course your shulker boxes. Let's get building, shall we? I'm going to build the exact same thing I have over there with the observer block. So the first thing you want to do is find your floor. I found my floor. This is my floor. I love the pattern that's in it. And the first block you're going to place is a dropper pointing upwards with a 1 block gap between it and the floor over here. Then you want to grab a hopper, point it into the dropper like so. You want to grab another dropper, put it on top of your first dropper, and make this one also facing upwards like this. Then you want to grab a dispenser and put it on top of that second dropper and make it face towards you like this. Then what you want to do is you want to grab your regular piston and place it facing upwards on top of this hopper like this. Not open it. There we go. That was a little bit tricky. And now what you want to do is you want to grab your observer and place it to the left of the regular piston so that the red bit is pointing towards you and what looks like teeth is facing that direction in my case. So then you want to place a block over here with a redstone repeater pointing in that direction. Keep it on the default tick setting over here. Want to run that into a block and place another block on top of the repeater and another block below right over here. Then go ahead and put 3 redstone dust on top of all 3 of those blocks. Then you want to have this block run into a sticky piston like so, facing upwards, with another full block on top like this. Then you want to place another block right over here to the side of that sticky piston with a repeater in that direction, running into another full block next to that regular piston like so. Then we're almost done here. Let's place a few more blocks like this. And now what you want to do is you want to place your other sticky piston facing to the right like this, in that direction, and then you want to place a full block or any block of your choice right over here. Now this is very important that you start off by placing the block here first, and you will see why in a second. And that, believe it or not, is all of the redstone done. So let's try this out, shall we? I put a row of blocks over here with a button as my choice of input. But now one thing you gotta do before is you gotta obviously fill in this dispenser over here with your color-coded shulker box. Colors of your choice, of course. But you want to leave a 1 shulker box in your inventory over here, because this one you're going to place right over here on top of that piston like so. So now let's check it out. So we got orange, open it up. Fancy swirling animation, and then we will swap to the next one. There we go, we got black this time. Let's try again. We got red, black again, and that just goes to show that it does cycle back. So as you can see, we had 8 to begin with, so we have 1 here, so we should have 7. But that's gonna do it for me, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you are, make sure to click on that like button, and if you found this useful, then why not share it with others? Spread the word. I'm very excited about this design, and I'm definitely going to be using it in my survival world many times. But take care, guys. That's it for me. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.